Alrighty guys, I've been meaning to do this video for a while. I've had this gear spread out on my table here for some time. And I had a text from a friend this morning that sort of made me pull my finger out and do this video. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the gear which I took on my last trip. I think I called it Searching for Giants, where we spent 7 days. We sort of traversed a bit of a range, hunting and camping on the tops. So I'm going to go over the gear that I took on that trip, and then I'll weigh my base gear weight at the end of it. So yeah, pretty simple. First thing, I'm going to get this out of the way because it's the biggest bit of kit on the table. There's a 7,000 litre LT Kuiu pack. I've had this pack about 5 years. I've had other packs in that time, but this is probably the lightest pack that I've got. So because I was expecting to do big Ks and big vertical, I decided to go pretty lightweight. On the side I've got I think it's a Mystery Ranch hydration holder, water bottle holder. My shoulders, I've never really been able to get bottles in and out of the standard pockets on most packs easily by myself, so I wanted to make something a bit easier. And on the other side I have just a little pouch which I put like a bag of lollies a day, snacks, stuff like that I could eat on the move. So and I had a 1 litre Nalgene type water bottle, so I'll just put that in the side pocket there, and that's sort of how I run the pack, with that in there. So yeah, put that on the ground here. Right, now boots, Crispy Summits. I've had these 2 years now, I suppose. They're lightweight, good. I mean, boots are a personal item. Everyone has different opinions, but these have worked for me, so yeah, like them. I took a couple walking poles. These ones sort of fold down into 3 sections. Yeah, they're carbon fibre. I think they're from AliExpress, not super expensive. Once again, I've had these a couple of years and they do the job. I probably would like to upgrade to like some nice Lecky or other branded walking poles, but I'll wait until I break those. So I undernard about wearing gaiters, but walking through wet tussock gets your boots wet pretty quickly. So I took these Sitka ones, I think a Stormfront gaiter or something like that. Yeah, once again, had these for 3 years. They're getting a little bit worn now, but they still do the job. For base layer, which I was wearing pretty much the entire time, I think I only took it off to have a quick swim in the river. It's just a Sitka lightweight hoodie, very thin, dries quickly, pretty much just keeps the sun off you and keeps the moisture off your body. So yeah, once again had this 3-4 years. I like it, I keep wearing it. I'd probably buy another one. New bit of kit that I took was the Stone Glacier, I think the de Havilland light pants. I liked these because they got a big long heat dump zip down the side. Pockets phenomenal. They're probably a little bit on the large. They're a size large. I probably should have got the size down, as I'm using them pretty much all the way up. Pockets are all good. You know, I have absolutely no complaints with these. it was their first outing, and I have torn a small hole in the bum. Must have been on some rocks at some point. I'm not exactly sure when I did that, but yeah, no, yeah, good bit of kit. I've got nothing bad to say about them, apart from the fact that I should have bought a smaller size. A mid layer that I wore, Sitka Ambient hoodie. I've had this once again a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. Yeah, it's probably getting a bit worn now, and it's definitely got a few pulls in the fabric from where I've been pushing through Matagari and briar and crap like that. But yeah, still great bit of kit. Yeah. And my bino harness. So this, I sort of keep my knife. I've got a knife and lighter in one side. The other side I normally put a few bullets, a few spare bullets. I haven't actually got any in here at the moment because I was using Mark's 7mm PRC, and that, yeah, obviously I've left this ammo down there. So in the front pocket I have things like a lens cloth, a little tape measure to measure antlers, a spare battery for my binoculars, and earplugs. So that all just lives in there. In the orange pocket I just have my PLB, and I took my Swarovski 10x42 EL Rangers. Yeah, and it's a marsupial enclosed bino harness, marsupial gear, I think they are. So yeah, not much can be said about that. And an InReach, which, yeah, handy. I've got a wife and a couple of kids now, so it's nice to hear that everything's going well at home. So that was pretty much what I'd wear on a day-to-day basis. I didn't take a lot of spare clothes, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, sleeping. We'll start with sleeping. So, do my RAB Neutrino Pro 500, I think it is, sleeping bag. Not the smallest or lightest sleeping bag in the world. It's just over 1 kilo, but over the years my sleeping system has got a little bit heavier because I find having good sleep definitely helps me. So that's the first thing that I'll put in my pack. The rest of that stuff was worn. Tent wise, I took a little AliExpress 3F UL Lanshan. I think I've done a video on it reasonably recently. This was a cool little tent, real lightweight, did condensate, so, but that's just something that you have to manage with a single wall shelter. I probably wouldn't hesitate to take this again. Quality of it is a little bit as you'd expect. It's not the nicest put together tent in the world, but it definitely did the job. Handled a fair bit of wind. Yeah, it was pretty solid. Pretty, you know, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend one of these to anyone, especially as starting out. You know, like I think all up with pegs it was about $200. So yeah. Nemo Tensor insulated sleeping mat, pretty good. Not the lightest one I own. I've got a Thermarest somewhere over there, but probably the most comfortable bang for buck wise, or weight for comfort wise. So yeah, real good. Once again, not the lightest bit of kit I own. This is a Nemo Philo pillow. It's almost like your pillow at home, you know. It's big, blows up a little bit bigger. It's got like a big, thick bit of foam sitting on the top of it, which makes it super comfortable. So, yeah, pretty cool having a nice pillow and sleeping in comfort every night. Oh, can't get it back in the bag now. And the only other thing, so I like having a bit of a kneeling pad at the front of my tent, and a sitting pad for when I'm glassing. I actually got a full-length foam sleeping pad from AliExpress, and someone gave me the idea to chop 4 panels off it to make a bit of a sitting pad that's a bit larger than the Thermarest Z seat that I've got. Just it's nicer to have a bit more space to, you know, sometimes it can be quite finicky and I slip off that little pad, so to have a bigger pad was quite useful. Yep. So spare clothing wise, I didn't actually take a lot. I had my Dew Point rain jacket. We checked the forecast and we're pretty confident that we weren't going to have much rain, if any, and we're having reasonably mild temperatures. So I decided to just take a jacket and leave my rain pants at home. So I didn't take them. So yep, just took my rain jacket. Puffer jacket, KUIU Superdown Pro. I think I've had this about 6 years. They're expensive, but obviously you can see it packs down pretty small, a bit bigger than my hand. Yeah, great bit of kit. Always take a puffer. I was gonna, in previous trips I have taken puffer pants, but I left them at home this year because, you know, once again the temperatures were going to be pretty mild, and yeah. So in this dry bag I have a KUIU zip dry bag. I had a pair of zip off long johns. They're KUIU Merino, I think 200, KUIU Merino 200s or something. And they zip off, so you can, I've heard people like poo-pooing zip off long johns, refer to them as stripper pants or something like that. Man, honestly, like being able to, I quite often slept in these, and being able to get dressed, put your boots on, pack up camp, and then the last thing you do is you take off your merino long johns without, you know, having to remove your boots. That's really, really cool. Like, yeah, it's definitely, as a hunting, I'd highly recommend zip off long johns, regardless of the brand. Spare pair of undies, because 7 days without changing your undies is pretty rough, and a spare pair of socks. Pretty much I just rotated my socks to the 2 pairs to try and dry them out and sit them in the sun when I can. So, and a zip dry bag, you know. So obviously didn't take much spare clothes at all. So pack cover, it's a large KUIU rain cover. Didn't need it, but handy. So in this little zip dry bag, this one I'd sit in the top, one of the top pockets. Had some Sitka mountain gloves. They're like a Gore-Tex-y type glove, bit thicker. Another pair of Sitka, more of a thin glove, and a merino buff. So kept them handy at the top for when it was cold, sitting down trying to glass. Just makes, you know, sitting for longer periods glassing so much nicer. And kept them in a dry bag. Once again, if it rains, they'll stay dry. So my cooking gear. Have a little Seagull Summit collapsible bowl. It's quite nice to sometimes eat noodles out of a bowl that's a bit larger, and the sometimes I'd push my Radix breakfasts or dinners or Go Native into this, especially my Go Native when you've got the mashed potato to go with it. Like, it's nice just having it in a bowl. Little mug. Don't think I actually took that. No, I didn't take that. Put that away. This was a real key bit of kit. This is a 6 litre water bladder for a Hydro-Pack. Obviously we're on the tops, water was essential. Yeah, that was, I was really impressed with this. It's really a good bit of kit. MSR wind burner. Yep, I've got a gas canister in there. I just took the one gas canister for the trip. It lasted just, and I guess that's the benefit of having the regulator in these, that they perform well even when there's low gas in your gas bottle. Titanium spork and little flint for the wind burner. So put that all back in the little dry bag that I keep it in. Right, what do we have here? So this one's pretty much like a pretty basic little kill kit. Little steel, keep your knife sharp. So this bag would just come with me. So I've just got some straps for attaching antlers to my pack. I have a little scalpel knife, if you can see that, and some scalpel blades, which, you know, handy. I think that's it. That's all that's in there. So this one is just a little bag with some SD cards and another battery for the camera, which I'm currently filming with. So, and dry bags. So for my electronic charging kit, so I've got two Nitecore headlamps. So I think they're like an NU25UL. So I pretty much just got two identical ones. They both charge off USB-C. You know, I've used them before. They're pretty good. They're not don't give you the best distance like beam distance, but for the weight of them, you know, they work perfectly well. I've got a little air pump to pump up my mattress. Bit of a luxury item, and it's also got a lantern in the bottom of it for in your tent. So I've got a little carabiner hook, so I can, because my tent's a trekking pole tent, the strap from the trekking pole hangs down from the top, so I just clip that onto the top and have a little lantern in my tent. Once again, super luxury. Don't need it, but it's nice to, I don't know, it's nice to not have to blow up your mat when you've just walked up a giant hill. So iPhone charger, USB-C charger, and two 10,000 milliamp hour battery banks from Nitecore. Yeah, they're about the lightest on the market. So yeah, pretty much that. So once again, you can see I'm pretty, I mean, I could go more minimalist, but I definitely didn't take a heap of gear. And this one here is just like a little emergency kit that I carry. So I've got like a survival blanket, some 3M tape. Every now and then I'll get sore, like I'll start feeling like blisters. If I start feeling blisters, my feet get a bit damp, get a bit soft. I'm generally pretty good at taking my boots off and strapping my feet up. I've got a little medical kit there, anti-friction balm, and anti-friction cream, chafing cream, Panadol and Nurofen, another spare flint, and a signal mirror. So not a huge medical kit, but I think I've got enough in there to get me out of a spot of bother if I need it. Right, so I will grab my little hook scales. So my base weight is 9 kilos. So 9 kilos is pretty sharp for everything that you can live in. Obviously I started out the trip with because we were going for 7 days, so I generally allow about a kilo of food a day. So I had another 7 kilos of food, and I also started with 7 litres of water. So what's that, 16, 23 kilos straight off the bat there. I also carried either Mark's spotter or his rifle. We sort of shared the spotter and the rifle between us most of the time, and that's a solid 4 kilos as well. So I was carrying late 20s for the trip. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Yeah. Any questions, message me, feel free, it's all good. I obviously love talking about gear. Probably something that everything worked pretty well. I don't regret not taking anything. It would have been nice to have a better quality tent, but maybe a little bit more room, because a couple times I sort of rolled into the side of my tent in the middle of the night, and my sleeping bag got a little bit wet from the condensation and stuff on the inside of the tent. But that wasn't the end of the world, and I was never cold or anything like that, so I was pretty happy with my kit. That's yeah, it's pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. So anyway, I'll stop rambling. Hope that helps someone. Any questions, shoot me a message, and yeah, it's all good. Cheers guys, thank you.